Hi, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for being on board with us today and doing yet another session for the Health Fest, which is the initiative taken by D.O.R.A.I Foundation. And I think, as you're already aware, that the D.O.R.A.I Foundation is a community based organization working on the rehabilitation for every sector of the society, starting from the special children, and you yourself being a special educator. I think you're already aware about that, right? Uh,
Right.
yeah, so helping the special children, counseling their parents, helping transgenders, and working for the sex workers as well. So the Rai Foundation has its tentacles spread in almost every sector of the society that needs help. And one of the initiatives that is being taken up by the Rai Foundation is the Health Fest, which is aimed at basically, spreading awareness about various physical and mental health issues that people go through on a daily basis. And we, as
Mm.
interns, we are studying cases and trying our part, wherein we can view the physical conditions that anybody goes through from a psychological lens, and we can spread awareness about that. So, and today, one such case at hand we have is of a 15-year-old girl who is
Mm-hmm.
suffering from alopecia from the last 4 years, right? And uh, she has been extremely tensed about it. So that is a physical condition that we have in hand today, and we're trying to view it from a psychological perspective, right? And you, Sandhya
Okay.
ma'am, being a special educator and working in that particular sector for a very long time, more than anybody can understand when there is something not considered normal for a person, how it affects the mental health, the
Right.
psychology of a person. So can
Yes.
you just throw some light on the ways in which people with alopecia can have a toll on their mental health, like what all can they go through?
Uh, First of all, it has a great impact over their self confidence, their self esteem. The body image plays a very important role in putting yourself there, socializing with people. Uh, you know, uh, I think uh, it definitely holds them back. They tend to withdraw themselves uh, from others. And all this is going to eventually have a huge impact on their mental health. So they prefer not socializing, and they prefer they have this feeling that they don't fit in. So this can take a great toll on their mental health, and this drop in self confidence can lead to self doubt, and they might not be able to pursue what actually they are capable of. So, yes, as a special educator, my perspective would be this. Yes, we have seen this day in and day out. The appearance does matter.
And I think it's absolutely correct what you just said, because even if it's not for alopecia or any physical ailment of that sort, just losing hair on a daily basis, even if it's for a normal person to experience that, that also sometimes takes a toll on you, right?
Correct, correct.
Because appearance in our culture matters a lot, and I think this is the first thing that an outsider or a stranger notices, right? So for this, the case that I studied, and she being 15-year-old girl, right, and she had a very long hair, longer, like it was till her knees, right? Then
Mhm.
suddenly the patches uh, came out, and she's losing her hair so young and so fast. And as you said, it actually did mess with her self image as well, where she found
Hmm.
it very hard to sometimes recognize herself and also feeling ugly at the same time. Right. So what do you think like can be done, when it all comes down to the self-blame and you can't even say that out loud to anybody? So how to stop feeling sorry for yourself?
Uh, we have to uh, give her the reassurance that it's not her fault, and it can be treated, and she's going to be fine eventually, and give her the strength to deal with it, and normalize it for her, that it's like any other ailment which you're getting treated for, and it's been diagnosed at the right time, and she's in safe hands. Give her the assurance that she's going to be okay, and ensure that uh, everybody around her also normalizes it. And the affected teenager also should be able to find a space where she feels secure, and where people don't judge her. So she has to also choose the environment where people can make her feel good. I think that should help her. There are a lot of there is therapy and support groups, and people who I mean other individuals having the same issues. Maybe talk to them, get to know how they are, overcoming their challenge. I think that should also help the person.
I think I can relate with that on a normal day-to-day basis as well. But
Yeah,
there's one thing that I would like to ask you is, so whenever anybody is going through any physical ailment or any mental ailment, right? So the first thing a therapist or a counselor says them that there's something called as acknowledgement of your disease. You have to
yeah.
accept yourself first, right? Now, she being a teenager, where all the teenagers are concerned about how they look and how they present themselves in front of everybody else, right? So, do you think she can acknowledge that, or she has the ability to acknowledge the fact that, okay, she's losing patches of hair, right? And they may or may not grow as soon as she wants them to, right? So what do you think acknowledgement plays a role here? And if she's not able to acknowledge that, how can she address this particular issue for herself?
Um, See, whether it's going to take time, or whether it is about uh, treating and getting better, uh, she has to accept that it has happened. It has already happened. She is in the process of losing hair, so we can't do anything about it. And I think we should educate as a 15-year-old. Uh, she's a a clean slate. She can be educated. uh, you have to give her all the information, instead of many a times I've seen parents hiding the information, or they feel they can't handle it. So I personally feel that keeping the affected individual informed uh, is the first step to helping that person accept what is happening. So giving them the assurance also that it could be better and everything, accepting what has happened, or what has already the damage is already done. So, and it is not the individual's fault, isn't it? So keeping that person informed, and helping that person come out of it plays a very important role.
Thank you for that beautiful answer, ma'am. I think, yes, whatever the situation is, so as soon as you can accept what you are going through, the like more easily you can help yourself come out of it, you know.
Right.
And
Right.
also, there's one thing that, stress being a normal part of our lives in today's time, right? So somebody who's going through something physical and their mental health is getting affected. So stress is something, they experience every single day, right? Like you
Correct.
said, they are not very confident with themselves. Their self-image suffers. They sometimes self-blame as well, right? So it is kind of, a never-ending vicious circle of stress due to hair loss, and in
Right.
turn, hair loss due to stress, right? So
Correct.
that's a
So
circle
visual.
which is going on. Yeah. So
Yes.
when
Yes.
stress magnifies a health problem, what do you think? Can managing stress help one to cope with the physical issue at hand, even if it's a little bit?
Definitely, definitely. Diverting oneself's attention towards or and harnessing their energy towards something constructive, something they feel good at, something they are good at, and makes them happy matters. Diverting the attention and working on their strengths during these days definitely plays a very important role in relieving the stress. It can be anything. It could be just going for a walk or pursuing their hobbies or whatever it may be. It can allow them to forget about what's happening and then, feel positive, feel good about themselves. Yeah.
And it is also said, like based on the stress factor only, it is also said, stress happens when somebody's internal or external challenges are basically greater than the internal or external resources, right?
Hmm.
So, how can we, even normal people or people suffering from any physical condition, right? How can they decrease the challenges by increasing the resources so that they do not have to go through that vicious cycle of being stressed again and again?
Um, can you could you please repeat? Could you
Yeah,
please
yeah.
repeat the question?
Yes, yes, definitely. So, so uh, when one undergoes a problem or when one undergoes stress, right? We do not know how to handle it. If there's a
Right,
condition, if there's a problem, we as people do not know how to handle it. So we get stressed, we get tensed, right?
right,
That means we're lacking somewhere in the internal resources that we possess, right? That
right,
is why the
right,
challenge seems to be bigger,
right.
right? But how can we decrease that challenge by increasing the resources?
Yeah. Now these days we have these WhatsApp groups
Hmm.
where you can correspond with individuals facing similar challenges, or you can acknowledge each other and help each other out, reach out and get help. I think experience is the best teacher, no matter how much of theory how much is how much of information is abundant information is available in the internet, all that. But when it comes from an individual who has experienced it, you know uh, it 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 is magic. I see it in my day to day life as well, with children with difficulties. No matter how much you go into your theory and in books, when we talk to a parent facing a similar challenge with their ward, you tend to get some clarity, because you will find the similarities. You will find, oh, okay, it would have been the very a very 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 smallest way to remediate, but it will be very effective. So I think keeping in touch with or corresponding with individuals with the same challenges, and sharing experiences is a great resource. It helps.
I think that's great. You know, Reaching out for help when you don't feel okay is actually the first step of acknowledging, I think, and getting the
Yes.
help that you require to overcome it. But there's one more thing that I would like to ask you is that the case mentioned that they need to learn to love themselves. Right. So, do you really think that having hair or not losing hair will have them love themselves, or that it would just be a mere boost of confidence that they're looking for? So, do you think the broader picture here would be to fix what is wrong on the inside?
It all depends on the individual, I would say. uh, the kind of school of thoughts they are brought up in, how things are in her environment or his environment, that is what would actually decide this. Because I have seen teenagers where they don't give a hoot about anything. They feel okay about themselves, whether they are bald or whether they have long hair or short hair, whether it's colored. But there are also individuals growing up in very conservative families, or surrounded by people where they feel that where they keep telling or influencing that the individual that this is not normal. So if this has gone seeped in, then it's very difficult until the individual develops the individuality to understand that it is okay. It will take some time, especially in this particular case, a 15-year-old. It all depends on the kind of environment this child is brought up. So it will take some time. But yes, ultimately, as you said, uh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whatever it is. It's yes, still you. That should be that kind of a confidence has to be given to this person. Yes, I agree.
All right. And also, you know, I think this implies with uh, anybody going through anything, whether that's a physical issue or whether that's a mental issue. Where I've seen that uh, in our culture, in our country per se, right? So people on a whole generally, do not consider counseling until there's a very big issue. The problem has
Yes,
grown tenfold, right? But
yes,
we know that counseling is always effective in the early stages, because it may help to understand the impact of the particular situation in hand and fix it, at the root, at the
correct.
very early stages. So, how important do you think, or, how much can you stress on the fact that people should consider counseling and, reach out for help when it is actually required?
Uh, See, a superficial wound or ailment that is going to show you, superficial symptoms, you are going to definitely get it treated. You're going First of all, we diagnose it. We see how deep it is, how bad it is, or how much time it is going to take to heal and all that. But mental health issues are very very crucial, because you don't know what your triggers are. You would be going through things on a daily basis, and you wouldn't know that the medicine or the supplement is there right with you. So we keep blaming us, we keep blaming everybody. But when you go for a counseling session, you will understand that the triggers are within us. So you can heal yourself, and the methods and the kind of talking. It's not something uh, very fancy, or it's not something very complicated. They are just simple ways of just uh, letting it out and identifying these triggers. Because we always feel as specialists, it is very important to start with a child by finding the triggers in them, and then getting rid of these triggers, and then they are relaxed and they're ready to accept new information. So I think I completely support counseling, and we have to definitely encourage. There are so many celebrities now, uh, you know uh, talking or emphasizing on the importance of counseling and taking care of oneself, self-help or self-love, all that. So I think people should realize how important it is, especially when you don't know what's happening with you.
Thank you so much for that answer. And with that, I think that we have covered so much, in this short span of time, and you've shared so many thoughts and insights on how to basically manage your mental health and what to do and what not to do. Counseling being the most important thing out of all of this, right? So even if somebody is not going through a problem, as you said, which is
Yeah,
visible, so mental health problems are invisible, right? They might
right.
manifest as physical issues, but here we are talking about the psychological perspective of the people who are going through physical ailments. So that is something which is very important for us all to understand. So thank you so much, Sandhya ma'am, for doing this with us today. And thank you so much for being on board and sharing your thoughts about this.
Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure. I'm so glad I could talk to you and about something very important, something that could make a difference in somebody's life. So I'm very, very happy to be a part of this.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We're all very grateful on behalf of the D.O.R.A.I Foundation. So I hope to see you soon again with yet another insightful session.
Yes, thank you. Looking
Thank
forward
you
to it.
so
Thank
much,
you.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.